All right, I'm gonna make this real quick because I gotta go this morning. And I just saw this because I was looking for something that I can't find anymore from the census website. So it looks like I'm gonna have to start doing a lot more saving. But uh, this is a map. It shows the map of 1860 of slave distribution. Okay, notice how it's densely dense right here over in Alabama area, Louisiana area. We know what you know what that area is. The area is. And just before I get to that, this is your 13 colonies. This is where the British and the United States was up until the Louisiana Purchase in 1803. The bulk of people, and some of them not being counted slaves in 1860, which is why, of course, some of those numbers aren't looking, or it ain't showing it like that, or the black liquor ship people. You start getting all these people counted around 18, it was 1803 Louisiana Purchase. 1820 I think is Alabama's first census. Alabama's first time they took the census was in 1820. And like I said, how did all of a sudden these 41,000 so-called plus the free Negroes, 41,000 so-called black people pop up? And thanks to one of my followers, I need to shout out his name. Hold on. OPEEEOP. I don't know how to pronounce it, my bad, but he showed this document, and this is what kind of got me on this morning. It showed all these free Negroes, and I was actually counting the amount of free Negroes first that was on this page in Alabama in 1830, because I knew 1820 was the first time they started even counting people. So you get a question first is, well, where'd all the free blacks come from? What, a bunch of free blacks rushed into Alabama and with their families and took up slaves or something? What's going on? But I'm still kind of trying to construct an idea and go through this because I got to read the book too. But I also started looking at the ages, but then I started looking at the surnames. Yeah, like Chastings and like some of these are surnames we've known, but then I started looking at other surnames, like how Chastings is mostly French, and I had to think about Chief Warhorse saying she only has a small amount of one drop of European blood in her Shatta bloodline, which comes from Nicholas Ducree, who was a black liquor ship French. So here we got another person with a surname of Chastings, or multiple people, who were mostly from France. And also notice that this is a free Negro of color, and notice how the surname never touched an African continent. It was a European surname, American surname, free black Negro, okay, in 1830. Still in slavery time. Then there was another one called Garseth I saw in there, and I was like, Garseth? That one comes from mostly Norway. As you can see, it is a Norwegian surname, but it's a black free Negro in America. Now, as you can tell, it doesn't show that it's American after that. Could be because some of these surnames could wash away. If they were one of the last that came from over there from their family, they come over here and they really couldn't make it pop with any of the females. Or, maybe they married into a family. Maybe it was, they married into a family, lost the surname, whatever the case, had a bunch of daughters, lost the surnames through the daughters or something. That could happen too. Craze was another surname I saw in there. And it shows it has very little backing in Africa, mostly up in the Europe. Mostly is English, European, Australian, Egypt in there a little bit, Wales, Israel, South Africa, whatever in there. So some people would try to say, well, it started here and moved up. In my opinion, where you have the most people should be where the surname is propagated the most. Or started the most likely. Because if you've had the surname for thousands of years and then all of a sudden, when it's over in another area, you have 2 people with the surname, 20 people, we got thousands. It's like, oh, the most fertile person came over to the United States or something. Now, this surname didn't propagate that long, so We'll just kind of go past it, but it was a surname nonetheless that was here, likely from England. But either way, back to this map. I'm still kind of going through that. That's a whole nother story. But you got to start thinking the heavy density of the so-called black liquorship people right here, right? And we also know this area all the way up to goddamn 1800 AD. Remember, Louisiana Purchase, 1803. Alabama, remember, 1820. They counted people. They start moving. Who was over here in this area? Choctaws, Chickasaws, Creeks, Cherokees, Shawnees, Uchis. That's who's over in this area, right? So what these people would try to tell you, and it's a heavy density. First of all, notice the reason why I'm saying that is it's a heavy density, which means they would try to say, well, yes. Now, if we're just going off of brute strength and numbers also, right? Because you need a lot of numbers to contain a lot of people. But they want you to believe that people who look like this. Now, I just typed in Native American boxers so we can get a good idea on strength, brute strength, right? They want you to believe that these people could contain the most fiercest athletes on the planet. Nobody is anywhere in comparison. But let's also look at numbers. In Alabama alone, if you don't even count, and Mississippi, we'll do Alabama and Mississippi, there's over 700,000 so-called slaves. According to this, the Native American population at the time supposedly was around 339,000. Okay, that's in the entire United States. So within Alabama and Mississippi, it would have been a tiny fraction of that. And you want to tell me the tiny fraction of that 300,000 can contain over 700,000 plus of the fiercest, strongest people on the planet, and had us held down until the United States decided that they could let us go. You have got to be out your mind. Quit playing.